3 AI releases in one day, a more powerful Claude, Google's best open model ever, and a robot that teaches itself tasks it was never shown. Here's what you need to know. Today we're covering Anthropic's Claude Opus 4.7, which just became the company's most capable generally available model, with a focus on complex software engineering. Then Google DeepMind's Gemma 4, open, efficient, and purpose-built for reasoning and agentic work. And finally, Physical Intelligence's Pi 0.7, a robot brain that can generalize to tasks it was never trained on. Let's get into it. Anthropic has released Claude Opus 4.7, and it's the most capable model the company has made generally available to date. The headline improvement is in software engineering, specifically the kind of complex, multi-step coding work that previously required a lot of back and forth to get right. Anthropic says the model handles those tasks with less handholding, which matters a lot for developers actually trying to build with it in production. Beyond code, Opus 4.7 is also better at analyzing images and following nuanced instructions, two areas where earlier versions sometimes fell short. Now this sits below the Mythos preview model that Anthropic has been teasing, so there's clearly more capability in the pipeline. But for most users and enterprises today, Opus 4.7 is the ceiling. What's notable here is the pace. Anthropic is incrementally shipping real capability gains on a tight cadence, which keeps pressure on OpenAI and Google to do the same. The competition at the frontier is accelerating, not slowing down. Google DeepMind has released Gemma 4, and the positioning is deliberate and confident. Byte for byte, the most capable open models available. That framing matters. It's not just claiming raw performance, it's claiming efficiency. You get more intelligence per parameter than anything else in the open weight space right now, according to DeepMind. The models are purpose-built for two things: advanced reasoning and agentic workflows. That second one is significant. Agentic AI, models that can plan, take actions, and operate across multi-step tasks autonomously, is where the entire industry is racing. Gemma 4, being optimized for that use case out of the box, signals that Google sees agents as the primary deployment pattern going forward, not just chat interfaces. The open-weight release also keeps Google competitive with Meta's Llama series and the broader open-source ecosystem. Enterprises that want to self-host capable models now have another serious option. For developers building agents, Gemma 4 just became a model worth evaluating seriously. Physical Intelligence, one of the most watched robotics startups right now, has released Pi 0.7, and the claim they're making is a significant one. This robot brain can figure out tasks it was never explicitly trained on. That's the generalization problem. It's the core reason robotics has been so hard to scale. You can train a robot to do one thing very well, but the moment the environment shifts slightly or a new task appears, it fails. Pi 0.7 is described as an early but meaningful step toward solving that. The company is careful not to oversell it. They're calling it a step, not a solution. But in robotics, meaningful generalization is genuinely hard to achieve. What Physical Intelligence is building is essentially a foundation model for physical action, similar to how large language models serve as a base for text tasks. If Pi 0.7 delivers on its promise even partially, it accelerates the timeline for robots that can operate usefully in messy, unpredictable real-world environments. That's the unlock the entire robotics industry has been waiting for. Step back and look at what these three stories have in common. Anthropic ships a more capable Claude. Google releases its best open model yet. Physical Intelligence demonstrates a robot that can generalize. On the surface, these are separate product announcements, but they're pointing at the same thing. The gap between what AI can do in a controlled demo and what it can do reliably in the real world is closing fast. Opus 4.7 is about reducing the friction between a developer's intent and a model's output. Gemma 4 is about making that capability available to anyone who wants to deploy it without relying on a cloud API. And Pi 0.7 is about extending that same logic into the physical world, where the stakes of getting it wrong are much higher than a bad code completion. The agentic thread runs through all three. Anthropic's model is being optimized for complex autonomous coding tasks. Gemma 4 is explicitly built for agentic workflows. And a robot that figures out new tasks on its own is the most literal definition of an agent you can build. We're not in a world of chatbots anymore. The AI being shipped in 2026 is designed to act, not just respond. That shift has real consequences for how we build with these tools and how we think about oversight. So here's the question I want to leave you with. As AI models get better at acting autonomously, whether that's writing code, running workflows, or operating robots, where do you think the most important guardrails need to be? Drop your answer in the comments. If you want this level of coverage every day, subscribe. We break down the stories that actually move the needle without the noise. See you tomorrow.